you so much for joining me. This session will be pretty gentle. I'm going to do a yin class, so not a lot of movement, um, more holds that we hold for just a bit longer, not warmed up. And then as you are sitting there breathing and um, just being with your breath and your body, you can maybe get a little bit deeper. And yin can be tough, especially if your mind tends to be full of chatter. So this will be a great class for you to practice that mindfulness. And I'm going to try to refrain from talking constantly. Typically, I'm just constantly talking. I'm going to try to have some longer pauses, like I'll be getting you into the pose, and then we're not going to hold for a super long time, maybe a minute, probably typically more like 30 seconds to 45 seconds. Maybe we'll do 90 seconds. It'll just depend on the pose. So if you can surround yourself with things that we're going to support you, I don't think we're going to even get up off the floor. It's going to be all on your, pretty much reclining or seated. I have got 2 blankets, I've got 2 blocks, I've got a big bolster. You grab whatever you have. If you don't have a bolster, you can maybe use bed pillows, or maybe you've got some furniture, cushions that could potentially help you with the practice. You can also get towels, you can get anything that would provide you comfort. So to start with, it's just like pretty much any other thing where you're finding that connection to your breath, sitting in that place of support, making sure you're not having those tingly toes or feet, always arranging yourself so you're getting that full circulation, letting your eyes close, and you are practicing coming into awareness of your breath, of your body, letting those lungs fill up on the inhale and then releasing fully on the exhale. And when you're ready, start to cultivate a 3-part yoga breath. This is where you fill up the lower third of the lungs, then the middle third, then the upper third, and then you release upper, middle, lower. And let that 3-part yoga breath get as full and deep as feels good to you. Eventually, you're going to start getting your whole body involved. Press that navel into the space in front of you as you fill up that lower third. Feel those ribs move up and apart as the breath goes into that middle third, and then as the breath goes into the upper third, feel that heart move up a little bit in the chest, and then exhale, heart and chest relax, ribs move down and together, and then you pull that navel back and up into your body. And then the inhale happens again, and you fill up navel, ribs, chest, exhaling fully, chest, ribs, navel. Try to have the navel be your focal point. That is where you're starting, initiating, and that is where it is ending. And also, it just never seems like it's just never. It hopefully, because it's breathing, right? It's never ending. So you want to just be with that breath, that exchange of air. That is the rhythm of the universe. You connect to it with your breath. You connect to it with being able to expand and contract as you need to, just like the universe does. So that means you take in what you need and you let go of what you don't need. And you get really good at that. So let yourself, if your eyes are closed, crack open, and you can let yourself come into our first supported yin posture, which is going to be a forward fold. So to do this, I'm going to really set myself up for support, I'm going to have these blocks. I'm moving my clock. I'm going to have these blocks up on either side. I'm going to just sneak a little quick drink. So have these blocks on either side of my legs. My legs are going to be nice and I'm active. They're active, but they're still relaxed. Because, I mean, you want to hold yourself in your girdles, pulling that tail down, pulling that back body down, lifting that front body. I'm going to take this bolster and have it so it is just gently in front of me. I'm just sort of straddling it, my legs pressing in front. I'm going to use the blanket to just pull up maybe a little bit more of height, and then I'm going to let myself just drape over this bolster, breathing full and deep. And we'll probably be here for a minute. So hopefully you've got enough stuff that you can stack up so you can get this nice supported stretch. You're still holding yourself in your trunk, and you're stretching over the support. You can let one cheek rest. Alright, let yourself lift up from that forward fold over the support. Takes a moment. Sometimes I feel, especially with it's a big stretch, even though it's all supported, and letting the body reset back into the place it was before. Sometimes takes a moment. So take time to, as you move, you don't have to move very fast. And we're going to move to a side stretch on the side with this big bolster. I'm seated right next to it. It's up tall. Depending on your body, it probably is going to be more comfortable if it is down at this level. And this is where then you are maneuvering. It's going to stretch this side, keep this shoulder engaged, and stretch yourself over the big support. You're being careful with your knees, and then you can rest. And then this is where, depending on how it feels in your body, because you might be like, yeah, this is a lot, because you're feeling that pull on that side that you're laying on. It doesn't matter which side you start on, because you only have two sides, but I'm laying on my right side. But then keeping that shoulder engaged, letting that left arm reach up, and then letting it reach. And if you only want to do this for a little bit, and then if you want to bring that up to right above, if you are doing this, and then I'm going to let it come down one piece at a time. So the fingers come into the hand, the wrist bends and it comes down, the elbow bends, and the hand comes down, and then the arm comes down. And you just keep breathing full and deep. And then using whatever arm is that, use that on the floor so you can press yourself up to that upright position. Once again, even though they're not doing very much, these can be big stretches. So take a moment to reset, to feel your body get back into the place it naturally is. You can probably just flip over. I am going to just switch so I can stay facing you. So same thing, other side, make sure you're protecting yourself. So this is a nice side stretch with a little bit more shoulder. So make sure you're not straining your neck. Being full, and I should have showed you, if you do need to, you can always bring like a little bit more support. Like that's even way more comfortable. Like I could probably be here for like all day. Like this is a great way to, like, you should watch TV stretching your sides, especially if you can feel it pulling gently on that side you're laying on. And then if you want to go with the arm stretch. Let that arm come up, and then let it come down one piece at a time. Really have it be heavy in that shoulder. That's where all the work is happening. And then rest a couple breaths. And then using that arm with the shoulder towards the sky to press into support, to then sit up into that upright position. We're going to do another forward fold, this time with your legs bent. And so blocks might be good here, the bolster, potentially you're trying to figure out what works best for you in order to support you. And there is no, right, like nothing's off the table. You should hopefully feel comfortable enough to use whatever sort of support you need in order to get the most from these stretches. So my legs are just, one leg's in front of the other. It's not on top, it's in front. And I'm going to use these blocks. I am going to take my glasses off because I'm going to aim for resting my third eye on these blocks. Coming forward. You don't have to rest your third eye on blocks. You can just breathe and hold your head up as much as you can. This is just to keep that neck nice and long. Let your breath be full and deep. And then gently pressing into the floor, let yourself come up to upright, letting yourself settle back into your natural places, inhaling and exhaling, and then having those blocks. And we're going to come into a supported child. So, using the bolster, using the blocks, also using blankets. This, depending on how your body is, it can feel different for everyone, coming around to hands and knees. I've got a blanket underneath my knees. I'm going to roll up a blanket. I'm going to bring it behind my knees. And that, I think, provides a nice comfort. And then I'm going to bring this bolster a little bit closer to my body and then let myself, and you're in charge, like that started to hurt my knee, so I just moved my knee out of the way. And then you're letting one cheek rest. I'll let you know when we're about halfway through, so you can turn and flip to the other side. We'll be here for just a few more breaths. This one hopefully feels nice and nourishing. All right, it's about halfway. If you want to flip to the other side. Then to come out of this supported child, bring those hands underneath those shoulders, press yourself up, come up. So you can bring, if you had a blanket, and then bring yourself down onto your stomach, making sure you've got whatever support you need. This bolster might be too thick for me to even use. I've done this with not so thick bolsters. So you're being the judge. Maybe your bolster isn't as thick. So this is coming forward into a gentle lifted Cobra. So I've just got my chest. This feels pretty good actually for me. So, but you're being careful with yourself, right? So you're only coming into, because this is like a gentle back bend, like, because it's the bolster's helping to lift me up. So then I'm draping over for that pose. So you can let one cheek rest, inhaling and exhaling your arms. If being in front, you can also, does it feel good? You can also bring them out to the side. This is another one where I'll tell you when we're about halfway through, so you can then move to the other side. If this does hurt your low back, press your pelvis even closer into the floor. All right, go ahead and move to the other side. And then you'll come back up into a kneeling position. So gently press those hands into the floor. Lift yourself up if you want to press back just into a regular child or maybe move through a cat and a cow, just a gentle cat and cow. Maybe be up in that cat and then pull back into your child. You're resting back in that child. You're going to lift yourself up. Have the bolster or blocks near you. We're going to come onto the back, just depending on what would feel good to you. You're going to use, and you might not know, and that's okay, you're going to experiment. So coming onto the back and letting yourself just feel your whole body on the floor for a couple breaths. Breathing full and deep, navel, ribs, chest. Exhaling fully, chest, ribs, navel. You can have your knees bent or your legs extended. Inhaling and exhaling. And then bend the knees, and then depending on what's going to feel good to you, it might be a bolster, it might be a block. We're going to come into supported bridge. So this is where I'm going to use a block. You bring that block to right where your tail would be, and you breathe full and deep here in this bridge. This might be too much, so you might just want to do a bolster. Maybe you want to just roll up a blanket or a towel and just have it be a little bit lifted. But whatever you're going to do, you're going to be here for a few more breaths. And then make sure you're supported. If you want to bring those legs up, to do legs up the wall, and if you want to come up to a wall, you totally can. Inhaling and exhaling. Then slowly, if you had your legs up, bring them down. Lift to come out from under, so the thing you're being on can come out from underneath. And then let yourself come down one vertebrae at a time. Move however feels good, just gentle movements. To roll to one side, to press yourself up. To come into a heart opener position. This is where you want to grab your bolster or roll up your blankets. We're going to be here for a bit, so it might be, the blocks might be a little much, but you might like that. So this is where you find that place where you can hold it for a little bit. Try to protect that low back. It doesn't have to be right up against the bolster, though that's a great place for it to be so you can judge. Pull those blades together, coming back down. So this is where, yeah, it starts to get a little dicey, so I bring those feet a little bit closer, press into those legs, pull my whole lower trunk away, and keep lifting that front body to support. Keep pulling those blades together. We're going to be here for a few, it's going to be at least a minute. I'm looking at a clock at a second hand. So let yourself settle in here, breathing full and deep. Okay, it's been about a minute to come out of this. Hands can be on the ground, right on each side. You're gonna tuck your chin, gentle pressure on the hands, on the arms, to then lift yourself into that upright position, breathing full and deep. And then turn so you are back to sitting with one hip right next to the bolster, your support. Your legs are bent and they are comfortable. You also could bring a blanket, fold that up a few times just to have a little bit more support. You really need to, I want you to play around so you find out what works for you. This is another one where we'll be here and you might want to flip side to side, so I'll let you know when we're halfway through. So I'm sitting with the bolster to my left side, got my left hip, my left side right up against the bolster. I'm going to keep with, I'm trying to bring that right, I can definitely feel my left butt cheek on the floor. I'm trying to bring that right butt cheek. It may or may not, yours may or may not touch. Mine does not. It's almost touching, but not quite. So I'm going to keep that navel anchored, and then I'm going to lift from that navel and twist my heart towards the support, and then let myself come down over. I'm going to start, you might want to play around with which side, because you're going to get a little bit more stretch depending on which side you land on. And yeah, you might even find you have to shift your support. And if you want to move to the opposite ear and pause there for a few breaths, being always careful and vigilant. You're never to sacrifice a delicate joint. And then hands come down on either side. And you lift yourself up into that upright position, taking as much time as you need. And yeah, you can probably just flip over to the other side. I'm going to bring the bolster around. So I've got it to my right side now, bringing those legs into that comfortable place, using whatever support you need, making sure that you are protecting yourself. So this is a gentle twist. Keep that navel anchored and then twist that upper girdle and then bring yourself to rest over that support, breathing full and deep. And it's been about halfway, so if you want to move to the opposite cheek, if that would feel good to you. If not, just keep breathing. And then gently lifting yourself into that upright position. Remember to take your time, coming to the place that feels good to you, inhaling and exhaling. And then bring those legs as wide as feels good. This is a place where I like to, trying to bring them around, stack up a little bit of kind of like makeshift support here, and you might have to play around with getting this to a place that supports you. So your legs don't have to be super wide. I am pressing through those heels. This is a nice, another easy forward fold with the support of the bolster, the blocks. This isn't a lot of support, so you're not putting your whole weight. It's just to keep you upright. Your arms can, just reach down by your sides or anywhere on your legs. You can rest one cheek. Let yourself breathe full and deep. Bringing those hands to the floor, lifting yourself up, letting your body get back into that place of support. I'm going to bring the stuff out from underneath. I'm going to bend that left knee, bring that left leg in closer, and then that right leg is extended. That bolster can come into front or beside the leg. I've got it up high, or it can be blocks. It doesn't matter. We're just going to do a gentle side stretch. So reach, and you can even kind of pull that underneath, and then lift to feel that stretch. And we're only going to be here for about 30 seconds, maybe 20. Inhaling and exhaling. And then lift yourself, coming to upright, taking a moment to let the body resettle, bringing the bolster to the other side, letting that left leg extend, letting that right leg pull in, bringing that bolster into that place of support, moving into that side stretch. And if it doesn't feel good to your body, your shoulder, to lift your arm like I'm doing, then don't do it. Inhaling and exhaling. And then take your time to come up to that upright position, bringing your legs to that place of support. And then, so we're going to do a supported pigeon posture. I'm going to use the bolster. I'm going to bring my right shin on the long side, and then bring that left leg back to lift myself. If you don't like doing pigeon this way, of course you don't have to. You can always come to your back. I am just going to rest up on this bolster. You could also lay down. That gives a nice stretch. So breathe full and deep. We'll be here for a minute on each side. Alright, it's been about a minute. Let yourself come down on that. I've got my right leg, so it's my right thigh. I'm just gonna bring that left leg forward. We're gonna move to the other side. So take your time. Your sides can be different, so it might feel different. So you're not judging yourself. You're also not hurting yourself. You're being very careful. We'll be on this side for, I think I need a little bit more support, a little bit more lift for about a minute. And it's been about a minute. So lift yourself up, come back down on the side, to then come around and let yourself settle back into your natural body. This is where I'm going to get a little drink. We're going to do just a sit for a few moments. So find that comfortable seat. If you need cushion for your buns, bring the cushion. If you need cushion for your ankles. If you need back support, bring yourself up against a wall so you've got support, or up against a piece of heavy furniture, and let your eyes close and just be with your breath and yourself in this pose. to bring your awareness back to your body if it's not there. Hopefully that wasn't that hard. You're able to sit for a few moments in that meditative posture, putting that space between your thoughts. It really does. It's a self-empowerment tool. It really does contribute to you completely knowing and trusting yourself, and then you never let yourself down. So you've always got your own back. You're not looking for anybody else to support you, to keep you propped up. Instead, you're looking for people to join forces with, right? Because you're both powerful. Hopefully you're finding other powerful people, because you, my friend, are powerful. And hopefully you felt it, even though we hardly moved. We just did some nice big stretches with a lot of support. And if you don't have all the things I have, don't worry. Hopefully you can makeshift something out of what you already got in your house. Or just use a lot of blankets or a lot of towels, or whatever works. All right, now if you've got a few more minutes to lay in relaxation, a nice supported relaxation where you bring the bolster underneath your knees if you're laying on your back, and you let yourself completely rest. You don't have to try to keep your thoughts away from anything. You just have to be with your breath. Or you can sit for some more meditation, because even though we didn't really move a lot, you still were working up that oxygenated blood, and it is flowing into nooks and crannies that don't particularly get that blood flow. So take some time to completely reset. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Bye.